Live on my end.
Awesome. Welcome to the Inner Room with Out of My Damn Mind. This is the space where walls fall away, where stories don't just get told, they land. Messy, real, and alive. Here, writers open the door to what drives them, what haunts them, and what keeps them going. Every voice has its own rhythm, its own scars, its own sparks, and together we trace the threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. I am super grateful to have the opportunity to welcome in another new voice. Yeah.
Hey,
Calibrated Chaos, thank you for joining me today.
thank you for having me. I was like, oh my God, everyone gets to go to the inner room but me.
No, literally, I literally will. I'm accepting applications all the time. I'm like anybody that is willing to sit in a space and answer some questions are more than welcome. Salt Air Nomad, thanks for joining. Holly, thanks for joining. If you are new to the space, like Gabby from Calibrated Chaos, I come up with 20 curated questions just for my co-host. So with that being said, since you are new, I need to know. I have to ask everybody the same question. What originally brought you to Substack?
Oh my, also, what originally brought me to Substack were some of the influencers I follow on TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, they ended up being writers, and they would always in their TikTok videos would follow me on my Substack. So I heard it like a billion times. I was like, oh, let me go check out this Substack place and read their writings. I love reading. So I came on the Substack, and I was just reading their writing, and I don't know, something happened on January 4th, and it was just like, right. So I just wrote the article, and it was well received. Next thing I knew, it was like 3 days in, I had 30 followers. I was like, oh, people like my writing. Let me write more, and that's that's kind of how I ended up on Substack.
I kind of love
no
that. And
intentions, no intentions of writing.
well, that I love that, and I also love that every time I ask somebody this question, their story is different. It
Yeah.
it is it is it is something that allows me to truly believe in the universe and that things happen for a reason at the times that they need to. I don't really utilize TikTok the way that I used to back in 2020. I have it now specifically just for the podcast clips. But I don't ever see anybody refer to Substack. I feel like I'm an alien posting
Everybody
Substack
always
live
says,
clips.
follow my Substack.
That's crazy. Oh, I love that story too, and I love that you know the
Yeah.
date that you started writing. So
Yeah.
it was January 4th of this year.
Of this year.
Oh wow! So you're 5 months in.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thanks. 5 months in, 5 months worth of writing. New article coming out after this interview.
Oh, I love it. Do we have a
Yeah.
title?
No title yet. I pick my titles after the article's done. So my writing process is a little weird. It's different.
So before you even continue saying that, I have a question literally about this.
Yeah.
When you're writing, do you usually know exactly what you think already, or are you figuring it out while you're writing?
I'm figuring out why I write it. So this is what I do. And I kind of just fell into this. I write intuitively, if you can believe that. Most people do not believe that I write intuitively. And when I say that, I mean I pick a theme for the month and I
Mhm.
say, this is my theme for this month. And because I am a thinker, I'm high IQ, so my mind never stops running. And
Wait, pause.
yeah,
High IQ equals mine never stops because I might be high my IQ then. No, just
you
kidding.
might need to get an IQ test.
Just
You
keep
might
going.
you might need to get a high IQ test. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but I think high IQ is missed in minority communities, but that's a whole nother thing. I'll write an article about it
Ooh.
one day.
Ooh.
I do. I seriously do. I think it's missed in minority communities. But yeah, so my mind's always going. And so my writing was really just my reflections of what I was going through.
Right.
So, and if you notice, I kind of force my writing to be on theme at the end of the month. When I do my monthly summary, I'm like, so how does this random thought that I wrote about this month tie into the theme? And I kind of, in my theme summaries at the end of the month, I tie it all together.
Well, I mean, that's just good work, I think.
Yeah.
But so wait, when you come up with your theme in the beginning of the month, is it something that you're actively going through, or is it something that you
So
just been through, or
there's an arc, right? So there's an arc. And so I'm navigating in real time, right? So you have to know my background story. So I'm coming out of a certain season, right? And
right?
so my arc kind of flows month to month. So I take inventory of where I am this month. I say, okay, I overcame this last month. This is what I'm going into this month. And what is going to be my theme for this month? Kind of project where I'm going with my goals and everything, and where I am mentally and emotionally with everything going on. I said, okay, this is going to be the theme for this month. So I come up with the theme for the month, and then my random thoughts throughout the month is what I write on, right? But I try to make sure they're on theme So I'll take my random thoughts and I write them down, and it takes like I go through like anywhere from 3 to 12 revisions before I ever publish an article.
I mean, so I feel like I have done what you do in a day-to-day thing, and I think that's what I got caught up in instead of really looking from a monthly view. And I think when you are constantly assessing your life every fucking day, you
Hmm.
can very much miss out on what you've actually like what growth
Hmm.
you've actually accomplished, where you're actually going and stuff like
Yep.
that. So you're literally helping me process in real time because I have not been active in the writing space just because I don't want to come back just as chaotic as I started, right? You know,
Yeah.
so I was like, maybe I'm just like a newsletter that does once a month, like an article and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's how I felt because I feel like it's very hard to reflect on my life every day and then put that into like content and share it. And it just felt so exposing and exhausting. And I didn't realize that was taking such a toll on me. So I love that you actually process it, month to month and not and give
Yeah.
yourself the space and time to like
Hmm.
figure it out.
Yep.
Ah, I like your process. I can appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Beautifully broken. Hey y'all, happy to be here. I'm happy you're here. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. So my dog is having a little conniption because I had popcorn and he still sees it. And I'm like, I'm not eating it, so you don't get it. But
Okay.
do you hear his vocal this? Can you hear him talk to you guys? Come here.
I can hear him.
No?
I can hear him.
Oh, you can? He's being so vocal. I'm like, oh, you're interrupting the whole mood, my friend. I know. I know. Beautifully broken said hello. You have to say hi, Chief, and then we can move on. So, with that being said, I'm going to take 3 seconds, and I never do this, and I'm going to put food away so my dog doesn't continue to bark the whole time.
Okay. Too easy.
Um, and then we'll get back to the questions, so you guys can see a little bit more of my Mikasa, a whole room. As like everybody just knows it as the green screen, like the green background.
Oh yeah. I
You
love the
know.
green background, by the way. Green's my favorite color.
Well, I was trying to get into the mindset of money apparently.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Let's manifest.
Yeah, that was the hopes, the dreams, and the goals apparently. All right, hopefully Onyx will behave himself. Thank you all so for being here with me. Thank you for your patience, and I'm gonna hit you with another one. Where did the name Calibrated Chaos come from?
Oh my God, it's me, all right? It's me in every sense of the word. So I'm both a creative and a systems thinker. I've always worked within systems. I have a operations strategy, war planning background. So I think in systems and hierarchy naturally. Well, I was trained to think that way. I have to say, naturally, I'm a creative. So like the calibrated represents the strategic system thinker side of me, and the chaos represents the artistic creative side of me,
Got it.
and they kind of merge together.
I love. It seemed to be making a happy little world in your space over there. I can very
Yeah.
much appreciate it. I think a lot of people can probably align. I find myself nowadays saying I need to recalibrate. Like
Hmm.
I like utilizing that verbiage, and I'm like, I owed it to you sometimes. I'm like, I don't think I've ever really referred to calibrate anything until I saw
Yeah.
your name. And I'm like, yeah, my life is chaos. It needs to be
It needs to be
recalibrated.
calibrated. Yeah.
But I appreciate the name and the background of the story and stuff. I love that starts with TC too. Um, with that being said, what are you hoping to cultivate through your space right now?
Oh my God, I hope to cultivate, I hope my writings and the podcast and the books and the frameworks and everything that's to come in the future, is there when people need it. I
Mm,
think in society we're seeing a collapse. And when now what is collapsing, I can't tell you everything, but one thing I do know is people are tired. And I think we are the first ones to kind of go through this identity collapse in real time. And I think the rest of the world's gonna catch up. You know,
mm,
everyone's burnt out. You see it now. So we were burnt out before the rest of the world was burnt out.
right.
We were trying to say something's off, something's not right. I don't feel like myself. And people, oh, go to therapy. No, it's no, no, no. This is a collective thing. Like it's coming. And we kind of feel it. I can see everybody that I connect to, everybody I follow for sure. We all have that thing in common where we're kind of navigating this messy middle space, right? Or
Yeah.
as Alexium, I like how she reframed it. She called it the recalibration phase, right? We're all kind of navigating this space, And I think the work that we do now, if we get ahead of this and start putting out the books and the frameworks, it's gonna be there when people when everyone else finally sees it and they're going through, cognitive dissonance, because there is nothing for us. I've been a reader my entire life, and every time I go through something, my first instinct is to reach for a book. And then I think we've talked about this before on live, there's nothing on the messy middle. There's like nothing in the growth and development space on the messy middle. And I was really surprised because when I was doing all my research, the psychology side of the house, psychology said, they call it, what do they call it, psychology? It'll come to me later. Psychology has a term for it. The
Yeah,
neutral space, I think.
I
The
don't know
neutral
s-
zone.
I don't know the
Yeah.
psychology
There's
term,
a
but
psychological term for
I
it.
do remember, I think you were in the chat and I was hosting a live and we were talking about it. And what I feel like is available is very generic self-help stuff, and I
Boo.
don't think anybody was ever honest and vulnerable. Like there's a huge space
Mm-hmm.
that could take everybody different time frame
Yep.
of a full collapse of your identity
Yep.
to reemerging to who you were actually supposed to be, right? And
Absolutely.
that whole process that we're talking about that doesn't actually have resources is like
Hmm.
everybody is scared to share. No, I cry every day.
Yeah.
No,
No one wants to
I
talk about the time they failed.
right, like as if
Yeah.
they don't like we this whole process that I had to go through before I'm this celebrity and this influencer and I have everything and the life that I dreamed of is here. We don't really want to talk about. Or when we share it, we're just sharing tidbits and not the
The
full
highlight
spectrum of
reels.
it.
We only
Right.
share the
And it's
highlight reels.
yeah,
Yep.
it's very
Yeah.
discouraging because it makes it seem like it's not relatable to me because it's like nah, bro, because I'm sitting in it
Hmm.
and I know how I feel, and I am the type of tired that sleep can't fix,
Yeah.
and I don't really have the capacity to show up in spaces and perform. I'm
Yeah.
not here to be liked by all or many.
Hmm.
Like I just want to be able to communicate authentically and honestly what the fuck is I'm going through because I am not naive to think that there isn't somebody else somewhere else at some point also in a
We're
very
all going
similar
through it.
space.
We're all
Right.
going through it. And it's evident on Substack. There are so many people going through it right now.
Well,
Yeah, no one's
that
honest.
community is cute. That community is getting big and it's cute. And there's so many it's interwoven sometimes with other types of writers too. It's not just like a specific lane of it,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
absolutely.
But Michelle and Jenny, thanks for joining. I don't want to say like I do this because I know that I'm gonna be famous because there's no access to this and I'm gonna like we're trendsetters and we're putting
Yeah.
it. No, I feel like I genuinely feel called to have conversations that actually have substance that people can actually relate to whether they want to admit it or not,
Yeah.
and they feel some type of safety in knowing that whatever they think to themselves, however they feel to themselves, they're not alone in that. Even if
Yeah.
they don't want to openly share it. I think a lot of people are still out there in the world masking things to still be relevant in circles, if that
Yep.
makes sense.
Everyone's masking.
I mean,
Everyone's masking.
but bro, I got no mask on my face,
Yeah. No, no,
but I'm
no.
trying.
I know you aren't, but like most people are masking. Most people don't want to talk about what's going on with them. Most people are scared to start over because they don't want to go through that process. That's why even everything. That's why I wrote that's why I did the reimagining on the Phoenix story. The
Mm,
three-part series I did, and I think the best article to me was the rebirth, the second article, the rebirth. I said, hey, you have to sit in the ashes,
yeah,
don't rush the rebirth, because I feel like that gets missed, it gets missed so much. And the fact that, a 500-year story missed that part completely. They don't tell you that in the myth. So,
like it
and
makes
then
it
like
seem it's instantaneous, like you burn and then you rise, and
you burn and rise. Every
there's
time
like
you see the
wait.
Yep. There's something in the middle,
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, to go back to what you said, yeah, the self-help space is very superficial. It's all fake. I won't purchase another self-help book another day in my life. And that's sad because I came up on self-help books. That's kind of helped me through like gaining my emotional intelligence, growing as a person, all that stuff. But the self-help space is so so superficial, you know.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you're
it
gonna
just
see that you're gonna see that too as more people begin to um have their identity challenged, you
yeah.
know.
It's not even just the self-help. Like I'll be on Instagram, and because I host podcast, or
Yeah,
at least I like to say that I'm a podcast host and I have a
you
podcast and
are, you
I'm
are.
growing that, right? Now my Instagram is just flooding me with ads of successful podcasters that have like this free webinar on here's all the tricks and stuff that I did, and I'm just like, all of those are, because I've sat on some of them, because I'm like, yeah, sometimes information is key. Understanding things better, because I've never done any of this before,
Yeah,
is necessary. But at the end of the day, all you're trying to do is sell me to now
upsell.
become, yeah, now because like you're my mentor, and the only way that I'm going to be successful is if I'm mentored. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's where I'm like, I don't agree with that. I don't think
no,
that's necessary. If you really want to help people who are really passionate about growing a podcast, then you would provide that shit for fucking free. Cuz you're making
absolutely.
enough money from your fucking podcast.
And they're not making money from the podcast. So the only reason people do these upsells is because they're not making money from the thing that
They're
they're
saying that they're
selling.
making money.
Yeah, they're not. That's why they're hosting this stuff, right? And that's so evident, so easy to see. Like you're not making money from this, but okay, or they start a course, but now you actually have the money because you started the course, but you didn't have the money before, and that was the whole play. I've known the play from the beginning. I watched so many people do it, but I just don't have my integrity won't allow me to bamboozle people that way, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, and then that's where I'm like, wow, I'm a really bad writer because I don't know how to advertise myself. I don't. That's why there was a joke. I made this Chat GPT version of me shoving my work down people's throats. It's like that's not me. And I get that, respectfully, a part of being a successful writer is networking, is promoting, is self promotion, and stuff like that. And I respect the people that do it with integrity.
Yeah,
Um, but it still doesn't. I'm still like, no. I know it's like so naive, and it's like, how do you expect to like make money? I was like, well, maybe I don't really expect to make money from it. Maybe I really just want my words to find people when they're supposed to find people. And
absolutely.
maybe that organically in itself will continue to build trust and community beyond what I could ever have hoped for. And maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, maybe not everything is about just making money and surviving. And that's what I'm trying to understand more in life nowadays, because of how 2026 has become financially stressful for so many people.
Mhm.
Is that maybe it wasn't always about how much you had of in the dollar bill sign. Maybe it was more about your riches in other areas.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, your gifts make room for you, and I believe that, you know.
Hmm.
It's gonna come when it's time.
Well,
They're gonna need the people that were ahead of the curve.
yeah, I
They're
mean,
gonna need
but I'm just
yeah,
like, influentially, that's been happening for centuries. I mean, we as humans don't progressively move forward unless somebody started to blaze some type of path that asked the
absolutely.
questions, became curious. You know,
Mhm.
I just feel like right now it's like everything is like a pressure cooker of, we don't want anybody to know any more than what they know.
Yep.
And we'll just control the artificial intelligence to make sure that it feeds whatever bullshit we want people to hear, you know?
Oh my God. I think I have my own predictions. I'll tell you offline about AI and the
we,
direction it's
we
going.
we won't get too
I
too
think we're putting the cart above ahead of the horse. I'm really not worried about this AI thing. I don't care what the experts are saying, what the tech billionaires are saying. I think we're putting the cart before the horse, and that's just my honest opinion.
I mean, I don't really, I feel like I don't really have opinion. I don't have fear of it
Yeah,
either. It's just what
yeah,
will be. And
yeah.
you know. But all right,
It's
let me switch.
glorified Google at this point. That's all it is. It's glorified Google.
I mean, and some of these resources are great and snazzy,
They're
and like,
great. Yeah,
and
they're great. Yeah,
but if you're somebody that is, I guess, living by it as if it's like Bible or religion to you, then maybe, you know, that might
yeah.
not be the healthiest option for you. I don't know. Um,
Mm-mm.
but what have you been enjoying most lately about writing and connecting online?
Oh my God, meeting like-minded people like you. I
Hmm.
think meeting other like-minded, intuitive, empathetic human beings, people with intellectual and emotional depth.
Hmm.
Because for the longest time, I'm like, I can't be the only person with intellectual and and emotional depth. Like there's no one else in this world.
It's funny because I
Mm,
was literally gonna have a follow-up question, like, did you ever feel like that would actually happen? Because I definitely felt
no.
like I was an alien my whole life. Like, I
Yeah.
spoke a completely different language than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I didn't realize how common that was for so many people. And that's
Yep.
why platforms like this or resources like writing and reading, it helps you connect
It
to things
does.
that you didn't even know because you were in your little bubble of a hole or whatever the
Yes.
case may be.
One
Um,
thing I don't like about Substack is everybody's on now. Like the one guy that like I can always tell when someone isn't a true writer,
mm,
right? Because when their writing lacks emotional depth, that's
mm.
that's the earliest sign. But then the way you choose to comment in my thing. If your comment is AI, you're not a writer.
There are there are definitely some tells of who
Yeah.
may be utilizing it for certain things. But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I have no opinion because it is what it is, and I just gonna continue to move in the ways that I feel are relevant to me, and I think I connect
Yeah.
more with people that I feel like are
Yeah.
people, and
Absolutely.
and that's just how it goes. And I'm not trying to be political. I really don't give a fuck. I'm just more of more of I can't really talk shit because I utilize ChatGPT for my own like word vomit. Again, when the only time I have a conversation with a human is every Tuesday, it is difficult sometimes to process my own thoughts. So for saying shit, venting to something, and then having words to read back has always been my greatest use for it at this time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my therapist. I don't listen to everything it says. It
Yeah.
is really more of again just a space for me to take the stuff that's in here and put it somewhere because I don't have that friend that I can call up and be like, "Yo, I just had this thought and I need to talk it out." Like I don't
Oh, you
like
can call me. You can
well,
call me.
now I know. I call Gabby. I hit Gabby
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you
Naomi, thanks for
call.
joining. But I don't think people also understand how important it is to have at least one person that you can just openly talk to about. And it's not maybe it's not the one person for everything. Maybe you have one person
Yeah.
to talk about this and one person to go
Yeah.
talk about that. Like because we are aware that certain humans fill certain cups, and it was never one person's job to fill all of them.
No.
We're not going to try to get into that conversation either.
No,
But
no, that's a real conversation that need to be had though. Maybe the next interview.
I mean, I was like, I don't have any other questions to that, but we could totally ride with it if you want to for a couple of minutes. I think there is a lot of, and this is something that I actually wanted to talk to you and Nicolette about on Decode and Disrupt is the dating nowadays, the understanding of what a partnership is. I just feel is very disconnected to what I think it should be.
Oh yeah.
I don't think your person, your wife, husband, partner, your whoever they are in your life is supposed to help you with everything.
They're not.
Like I think it's
They're not.
very important to have friendships. I think it's very important to have relationships with your family and outside sources and be open to connecting outside of
Absolutely.
this person. And it's just like
You are supposed to.
yeah, but
Absolutely.
it just doesn't seem like society has that understanding. It's like, no, you're my person. You're supposed to do everything with me. You're supposed to feel everything for me. You're supposed to understand me. And if you
I
don't,
think
you
I
don't
think
love
that's a new thing. I think that's new. I think with dating now is so complicated. And I don't know if you saw my April series for Chaotic Spill. Every Thursday I drop dating articles.
oh,
If
love
you
that.
look, yeah, April, I did. Yeah, I dropped dating articles all of April for Chaos Spill, and I just kind of like took my pattern recognition skills and kind of like put in my own experiences and things I was going through, and the people I was encountering. But yes, no, I think we right now we live in a very unhealthy society. Unhealthy society.
I wonder why. But
Yeah,
I want to be the first person to also call myself out. Like I say
yeah,
this now, talk to 26-year-old me, that wasn't the case. No.
yeah. Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
I very much thought like my person was my person, and no, I wasn't supposed to like get joy or happiness from somebody else because that's like emotional cheating. Like,
Yeah,
there was a lot of ways that I thought, and then
Well, I was a cheater, so I never
well,
thought.
good for you for admitting it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a whole article about it. You know, the coward wears blue de Chanel. You know,
All right,
I
right, right.
overcame that.
I smelled
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay. You just, yeah,
Yeah, I remember reading that one.
yeah.
I definitely,
I
yeah,
wrote about it. I wrote about it. But no, it's like, but and I've had relationships with people like you shouldn't smile at another woman unless you smile at me. I'm like, no, you gotta connect, and they want to control me, and like that's another issue. I just think we live in a very unhealthy society, both mentally and emotionally, and no one is addressing this stuff. No one's talking about this stuff. Everyone's giving relationship advice online, right? But
right.
none of it is working on the mental and emotional aspect of it. You
Well,
know, it's very generic.
right. Everybody's packaging it in a way that's going to get them likes, views, so they can get
Yeah,
paid instead of being honest. Like I said, I will be the first one to call myself out.
yeah,
I am not by any means a perfect partner. Even in my latest and recent
yeah,
relationship, I was not a perfect partner. I have anxiety attachment. I think understanding your attachment style and understanding where that actually derives from is what you need to work on.
yes,
And
absolutely.
that is not their problem. That is a you problem. That is
That
you are
is
solely responsible for the things that have happened in your life and the way that you still carry them with you. That is a
yes,
you thing. That is not your
absolutely.
partner's job to coddle you, baby you, teach you, console you. No, like so there are definitely things that I have learned about myself. And I do believe that we are relational humans. So when you are in a friendship or a partnership of any sort, or even like a work setting, those relationships will identify things within you that you probably need to still work on. And
Yes.
it is not that person's fault because they said something that happened to trigger you that wasn't done with intention. You cannot
Hmm.
blame them. You can't get mad at them. Well, you just triggered me. Well, that means that you have something to work on now. They just did you a
Absolutely.
favor. They just did you a
Mhm.
favor. That's how I see it. So if I ever get triggered, I'm not mad at the person who did it. It's like, oh well, thanks for bringing that to my attention because now I have to go figure out where it stemmed from and work on. And not that every day is a I must heal myself and my little version needs to be held all the time. No, but if something comes up as an adult, take the necessary time and space to process it in the way that you need to, and don't continue to go into the world and project that onto everybody else. That's
Yep.
where it becomes unhealthy. It's just when you start walking around and noticing, oh, we are all
Everyone
just
projects.
little
Like
fucking
literally
toddlers. Yeah.
everyone projects.
Like, yeah,
Everyone projects.
it's wild. It's
The
wild. So
mentality, the mentality in this world is crazy to me. And I just feel like I'm like, this stuff should be common sense. No,
like I said, I recently wrote a quick note that I recently came to the understanding that not everybody thinks like me. And
hmm,
for like literally the longest time in my life, I was so confused by people's behavior because I'm like, how did they process thought to get there? And
yeah,
when you come to the realization that everybody has their own way of thinking and processing because of the things that they have gone through in your life, that's where I feel like I'm now able to give more grace and empathy to others.
I don't. Not to adults.
I
Because
mean,
you're old enough to go seek the help. You're old enough. If you want it, you'll go seek it. I don't give empathy anymore. That's one of my boundaries now. Oh,
hmm,
you were you on the boundary No, you missed the boundary episode we did of the code disrupt. Episode 2 was on boundaries. Um, no, that's one of my boundaries. I'm not babysitting adults. I'm not giving you extra empathy. So if unless you're 25 and younger, you're not getting empathy from me. I'm sorry.
I mean
Um,
that's valid.
yeah,
I
go
mean,
seek the help you need.
the way that
Yeah,
like I said, the way that I see it though is I don't see even okay. My grandfather tomorrow is going to turn 93 years old.
yeah.
Bless his heart. When I go see him on Sunday and he acts like a toddler, I don't see a 93-year-old man. I see a toddler.
Mhm,
And
and I
so
will leave
that's
that Tyler on the floor,
well,
kicking
my
his legs.
again, but again,
Right.
to each his
Yeah,
own. I'm not saying any one way is better than the
yeah,
other, but it does help me a little bit to like
mm,
understand and process and not freak the fuck out all the time about shit.
yeah.
Um, that was fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me get to. So you recently wrote the bet on the hate train for getting Drake owned the railroad, right?
Oh, yeah, they bet on the hate train, yeah.
Yeah. How online disdain can become socially rewarded. Why do you think people are more comfortable publicly criticizing than publicly admiring?
Oh my God. I think one, a lot of people are miserable with them. So there's a lot to unpack here. I think a lot of people have insecurities that they're not addressing, and there's no forcing function in society that makes people hold themselves up to a mirror and say, and become self-aware, basically. These are my issues, these are my flaws, these are my insecurities. Nothing forces anyone to take self-inventory, right? So now you have a bunch of people who essentially, I don't want to say hate, that's such a strong word, but they unlove themselves, right? And they're walking around and they're projecting their own self-hatred onto other people. People like you let look at Drake, he's a successful man, he's a handsome guy, he's a wealthy guy. Um, you know his reputation in the public eye as far as women, he pretty much get any woman he want. He's a lover boy,
I mean,
that's what
that's
that's
all
what
his
draws
songs started as
as a lover, he's a
lover
lover
boy.
boy. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. The man got a Birkin collection for his future wife. Like he's buying stuff for his future wife. Like he's a lover guy. He's a lover boy, right? So he has all these positive traits. I'm not saying Drake doesn't have any negative traits, right? Well, I'm not focusing on that. But when people hate people, they see all this positive stuff, and their first instinct is to tear them down because they pedestalize them, right? And so I think one is easier for people to show their disdain online. One, because of their own internal self-hatred and projections, but two, the hate train provides cover. One person saying it, they might be a little shy. They don't want to say, they don't want to come across, oh, they'll know I'm hating or they'll know I'm envious if I say something. But the minute there's a hate train formed, I mean, the hate train is the cover. Now it's not jealousy, it's not envy, it's disdain. Now you can recategorize it. We can rename it something else.
No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this to me was, it was an interesting read for me. It was fun for me to kind of create some questions from it. Um, I don't know. Like I just feel like when it going back to what you were saying about people walking around and projecting. I think that's why there are people that are avoidant, right? So it's
Mhm.
easier to avoid all things.
Uh,
Nothing's wrong with me. Everything's wrong with everybody else. And if I just
yeah,
outrun it all, I don't ever have to deal with it, right?
yeah.
So I mean, when I don't know how to get an avoidant to come to terms with that, but when you were envious of somebody, and you lack the self awareness to understand it, it's like it reminds me of like the thing when growing up and not really understanding my sexuality, and then hearing people criticize gay people and stuff like that. And it's just like for a long time, the running joke was like, if you hate gay people, you're probably gay.
Mhm.
And it to me, it still feels very true about like literally anything. If you have something so sour in you about something, that's probably because you are internalizing something that you're not actually addressing.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a,
Mhm.
it's a, it's a. I'm definitely got to the point in my life where I'm just like, I don't want to say I envy anyone. If there are people that have a lifestyle or something that I hope to achieve in my lifetime,
Mhm.
I I consider them a mentor. I consider them something, a blueprint, something to learn from.
Yes. Exactly.
What did they do? Because Drake didn't start off as a lover boy rapper. He was on
No.
fucking TV.
Yep.
So like what did he go through his process of? If that's your lane and you want to go to, then why as another rapper you have to tear each other down?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be just cool to like cool? He just gave me the blueprint to be successful.
Yep.
And I get it, like he's his own persona, he's his own person, he has his own personality,
Yeah.
but I have mine too, right? Like and
Yeah.
having the self-worth and the self-awareness, knowing that what I bring to the table is just as worthy. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I think people that are successful are just blueprints for people's potential. And if you're
Absolutely.
upset about something, then you gotta deal with
Address
that
it.
shit. You gotta deal
Address
with
it. Yeah,
that
yeah. And I'm not saying Drake is the perfect model citizen, right? He's done some questionable things. He's hurt some people. But I mean,
it's hard for me to like look at a celebrity
mhm.
and identify anything, because it's like at the end of the day I don't know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
I haven't sat in their energy. I don't know their space. But when just like in a social media type of world, I'll be very open. I found TikTok in 2020, and I immediately found a dog trainer, and her content just spoke to me, that her personality and everything. And I've been following her for the last 6 fucking years, and I have conversations with her, and there are things that I've learned from just watching her and just met her, but I've never met her. But I
Yeah.
like to think that everything that she shows, because she shows so much about her everyday life, if you're following any of her social media platforms, is who she is.
Yeah. And a lot of them are faking it for social media. I'm not saying she is,
No,
but a
no,
lot
but
of
I'm
people
saying
are
like, but
faking
if
it.
you get to a status of a Drake, you have a publicist. They're posting for you.
Yep.
You know, like you're not creating content.
Nope.
Somebody you got people doing it for you. So I just like I
Yep.
know this woman is creating her own content, is putting out what she wants to put out, and it translates who the fuck she is. So that gives me a little bit more of a I feel like I know you even though I've never met you or sat in your energy. But when it comes to like big name celebrity, I it's hard for me to like feel aligned or anything with anybody
Yeah.
like that because I don't know
Yeah,
what's
unless you do
real till
something
it's not.
publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you do something publicly, yeah, for sure.
Right, and got it to interact. Like even I'm a big sports person, so if I ever got to like meet a Yankee or a Nick or something, and they were assholes, I would say no, they were an asshole.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what you see everywhere. I'm telling you, they're an asshole. Like just believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of devil's advocate. So do you think sometimes people confuse disagreement or criticism with hate because accountability feels uncomfortable?
I think they can be confused. Sometimes. Actually they can be. Because manipulation works both ways, right? On both ends of that spectrum, right? Um, so I think it can be. I think it takes someone with the self-awareness, with the critical thinking ability and the emotional depth is really sift through what's real and what's fake, and come up with a solution or answer to what the actual problem is. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think it can be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like throwing other sides to the
Yeah,
spectrum out there a lot.
yeah.
Because I don't know, I do feel like people who don't handle criticism well will sometimes think that this person doesn't like me or they're
Oh yeah,
overly
absolutely.
critical of me and la la la, and it's just like,
Hmm. Yeah,
does it always equal that? I think it's again a preference, life situations.
yeah.
Um, but I also read The Evidence Gap that you recently wrote this
Oh, yep,
this month, and you talk a lot about trusting internal change before external proof arrives. Do you personally
yep.
struggle with that?
I do not. Once I feel something, I go with that mood. I go with my mood. Now, I haven't always done this.
Hmm.
This is something I'm learning to do. So I wrote about it. But yeah, no, I didn't always trust my internal compass, my own internal compass. The last 3 years, I've been trusting it a lot more.
So what does that look like for you though? Like how does like it like compared to 5 years ago to
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
How
So now what it looks like is like my internal compass drives my decisions now, where it didn't used to, you know. My background, so you know my background, I'm still currently active duty military preparing for retirement. Um, so military, right place, right time, right uniform to tell you everything. But I realized, like, especially the last what, oh my God, 8 to 10 years of my career, that everyone's an idiot, and I was always the smartest person in the room. And so that there'll be a lot of combating with that because I just felt like they make stupid decisions because they were idiots. A lot of them were idiots. Not to say everybody in the military is an idiot. I'm talking about the people I work with specifically. I worked
your
with a lot of
situation?
idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with a lot of idiots. And the military is great. I love the army. Love it. Love it. Best job. I plan on doing 30 years. It's just circumstances and I'm getting out. They still want me to stay in. But I'm getting out. Because I'm tired of working for idiots. Um, and so, um, yeah, but now I'm at a point now because I'm preparing for the time. I just go with my gut. I go with my gut.
I think that's something that people of all ages struggle with. Like I had
Yeah.
a conversation with my mom recently and she was like, "Oh my god, I got scammed. This guy was talking to me on the phone and he knew all my information and he da da da." And then I looked and I was like, "They took money from me." And she was like, "Freaking out." And I was like, she was like, she was basically ruminating all night so she couldn't sleep. So I
Mhm.
said, I said, Mom, hey, so when you were initially on the phone and that your stomach or something inside you kind of was like, this isn't right, that's when you hang up the phone.
Yep.
Like, and it was like, I don't know how to, so there are days that I don't do the right thing that I like, oh, I
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we
Oh,
all
I,
do
I
it.
just I
We all
totally
do it.
ignored this feeling that I had because I didn't really understand maybe what it was for, and then all of a sudden, oh, now I know what it was for. So it's like we all have these moments in an everyday thing that we do have these feelings like, and people may not or think intuition is like woo woo or whatever the case may be, but like I genuinely believe that we all have a internal compass that will navigate and help us if we choose to listen to us. And I think a lot of us have just decided to drown it out or not understand what it's saying when it's saying it. And like I said, I speak from me as my experience.
Yep,
I have done that a lot where I have something has felt off, but I've just ignored it and I've just continued
yep,
to go through. And the result of that, what happened because of that. And I don't get to live this parallel life where, well, if I did listen to it, this would have happened. I don't get to
yep,
know that. I just know the
yep,
shit show that did happen.
yep.
you
You have to
know?
yeah, I'm learning to listen to my because I think intuition is a form of intelligence. I think society kind of diluted intuition because they feared it. They feared people because if everyone listened to their intuition, then there is no controlling anyone, right? Because we have our own
But
internal
maybe
compass
but maybe
that
control was
guide.
never supposed to be a thing, right? Like
That's the
we
point.
as humans aren't supposed to control.
But
We're
that's the
not
point.
right, but
That's
but
the
everything is
yeah.
being controlled.
Everything's being
We're
controlled.
fucking
Exactly.
sim characters, bro.
Yep. That's it. We're sim characters. That's it.
Like that's like it is interesting, and I do think
Yeah.
that there was a group of humans at some point that understood it and understood what it could do for all as a collective,
Yeah.
and was like, that's not what we want for the world that we want when it comes to capitalism, consumerism, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't work for a capitalistic society. I mean, it can work for a capitalist society. I'm pro-capitalist, by the way. I like to say that because people, yeah, I'm pro-capitalism. I just don't think the issue, in my opinion, isn't capitalism. It's going to be greed. There will be a decode disrupt episode on that, so I won't go
Oh,
too far
greed.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Greed.
greed. I don't think the problem is capitalism. I think capitalism is a great
If it's
system.
right, if it
If
is ran correctly
if
with
it
the
ran correctly and trickle down economics,
yeah.
I think yeah, I think it could be beneficial to society. Because not everybody wants to be a business owner. Not everyone wants to be a CEO. Not everyone wants to do this, do that. But if everybody was paid a livable wage,
Well, I think that's where I think the
yeah,
disconnect is. I
yeah,
think over
it's the
decades,
greed.
it's not it's people shouldn't have to have two jobs or three jobs to
No,
have a house
mm-mm,
and to just feed themselves. Like,
absolutely,
that doesn't work for me.
yeah,
I You talked earlier in this episode that a lot of people are tired and burnout and stuff. And I was like, well, that's I think a direct correlation from the fact that humans were not supposed to work 40-hour work weeks. We weren't supposed to be all about work, 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 and not
hmm
nature or connection or anything like that.
yeah,
So, if I think back to the time where I feel like I should have been living, or maybe my past life did live it, if you believe in that stuff, it's hunters and gatherers, and it's just like their only job was to survive. And
survive. That's
what
it.
what and that was it. That was it. And yes, that sounds very stressful when you talk about, the animals and other things and just
Yeah,
medical situations and not having medicine advance the way it is now.
yeah,
Yeah, it is dangerous. People didn't get to
yeah,
30 maybe, but
yeah,
their only day-to-day thing was that they traveled amongst the beautiful land that we
yep,
call Earth, and they ate what came from Earth, and they connected in a tribal type of way to
yeah,
other people, and it was a sense of family and connection and togetherness. And with after COVID, there's this disconnect of everybody, and
yeah,
that helps drive an economy right now because people have these feelings and they don't know what to do. So some of them spend it on shit,
yep,
whether it's
yep.
food, shopping, going to concerts. Whether they can afford it or not, they that's a coping mechanism at this
It
point.
is. It is. Because these are the only little luxuries you can afford now, right? But to go back to your point about hunter and gatherers and versus the capitalistic society, I think we even had a different version of the hunter gatherer within the capitalist society. You go back to the 50s and the 60s when the woman stayed at home, the gatherer, and the husband went to work, the hunter. We've had a
Mhm.
version of that where everyone was getting paid a livable wage, and it still
It
survived
evolved.
under
Yeah.
yeah, it evolved under capitalism. We still had that version, but it's so many different factors, and I don't. right now I can't think to speak on it and like I would want to intellectually, right? There's so many factors that go into this, right? And we just I don't know where we went wrong, but we need to figure it out, right? Because
The moment that there became
the
a
yeah,
1% is where we went wrong, is how
that's
I
where we
feel.
went wrong. That is
It's just the moment that there was a 1%
the
wrong.
oligarchy.
Yeah.
Once the 1% became the thing, I'm like, this is not what capitalism was supposed to be. The job of the CEO or the business owner was to be of service. It was a servant leadership type of thing. You didn't go into business to become a 1% billionaire. That's not why you open businesses. You open business to be of service. I'm gonna be the nation's first integral billionaire. I promise you. I'm gonna pay my taxes. I'm gonna pay living wages. I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
I'm going to donate. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show these billionaires how
you could
capitalism was
still
supposed to work.
right, you could still have and give back. And that's my thing is
Yes.
like everybody that's a part of the cumulative 1% in 2026 right
Yeah.
now could single-handedly solve a lot of our world issues, but
Yeah.
then that would take from what they have, what how many zeros are in their banking account, or how many houses they can keep, or what cars they
Eh,
can, or what jet they can fly in, and like
yeah.
and that those things have
Yeah.
become too superficial for the 1% because it becomes a status thing. It's like,
It's
well,
not
yeah, I
even
have
that.
a billion, you have a billion, but I also have X,
I don't even
XYZ.
think it was just that though, right? It wasn't just that. So if you look at the time frame, right, from when the mindset shift kind of the pendulum kind of shifted, right? And not to say they were also greedy during like the what's that age where the Rockefellers first lived? What's that age called? The
The
Gilded Age.
error.
The
Yeah.
Gilded Age. When you go back to the Gilded Age, yeah, they were greedy there too, right? There was some greed. It was more so not wanting to finance like proper working conditions and things like that, right? But it was still then the men went out and worked and the wife relatively stayed home. It was enough to for a family to survive. They were getting paid enough
On
for a
one
family to
income. Yeah.
yeah, off one income, right? I think where they went wrong, I think into the I'm not don't crucify me here. I'm not taking up for the billionaires, but I'm just gonna give you another. Let me play devil's advocate.
Well, David
You know,
Cameron, yeah.
yeah, we've seen over time all these people lose their wealth, the other former billionaires. So I think at some point in time, the billionaires came together and like, hey, we're losing too many of us. We can't keep um paying this much money in wages. We can't keep donating for additional to universities and stuff. We can't keep what was it, livable wage, the donations. There was something else I said, but we can't keep the tax code, right? We have
Right.
to take advantage of every tax incentive, right? We have to and we have to hoard all this money because we don't want to be like these other billionaires that are no longer in existence.
Yeah,
So,
but
to their credit, I can understand why they're hoarding, right? But even to that, I can only see certain companies. Like I can see why Apple wants to have a big backup, cash stash, right? That's America's biggest cell phone company, right? And so I can see why they need, that much cash on hand, right? But at the same time, I think you can get back. I don't think it's fair that you both take advantage of the tax code and then not pay a livable bit wage and not donate. Come on, you're like really getting over. Like you're taking. I agree that they tax billionaires deserve tax cuts. That's why they have it, right? Because there's shell not so much money, they deserve to get tax cuts. But you can't take the tax cuts and snip off the wages and not give back, right? I wouldn't have a problem with Eli Lilly charging so much money for medication if they're taking that extra and giving it to colleges and universities for research and development. I wouldn't have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, it costs a lot of money to research and fund new medicine. Okay, Eli Lilly, I have no issue with you charging that much money, but you're not donating, right? You're not donating to colleges and universities for them to do additional research. And that's my issue with the
it's
billionaires.
to me it's integrity,
Yeah.
and billionaires
Yeah.
is a new thing. It was just millionaires. There were a
Yeah.
lot of millionaires at a point, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden the billionaires became, and yeah, I don't. I don't know. I think the millionaires, like you see, like athletes that are retired and then they didn't have good investments. They didn't
Yep,
understand money. They spent it all on one stupid thing, or they party too hard and do too
yep,
much shit. Like that's just you can learn from that without hoarding. And this is good. It'll be great to tune into your greed conversation because it is something that I do feel as a society, as a collective, we are struggling with. This thought of that there isn't enough or that you need more of
yeah,
something is kind of insane when we are aware that there are
yeah,
ancestors from all of our lines that survived with a lot less and didn't have the need to have all that what we have right now. We should be grateful that we're in a space where we're in, but I don't really think that it's necessary for anybody to be a fucking billionaire. And again, I don't have an opinion about tax cuts and stuff. It's an integrity situation. There
yeah,
are companies that say they donate and then there's actual no donations. It's just fucking fake bullshit so they don't have to pay towards it. And again, it's just like, okay, if you did that and you just wind up giving bonuses to your associates, then fine, fuck it, cool. But when it's the working class that is always getting screwed, I think that's the part of right now that
yeah.
is
That's the issue, right? We're not paying livable wages. I think as long as they pay livable wages, as long as they donated,
I mean, at the
and
end of the day, if every you and I, every working human in America in the world had money, where do you think we're gonna spend it? On all the shit anyway, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like, so if I
yeah,
if housing was less, or just the livable wages were more, don't you think that humans are just naturally then going to spend it on other shit?
yep.
So it's just like it would come back to you regardless. So it's just mm, mm. With that being said,
Yeah, I don't think they're
um
thinking this through. I don't think they're not thinking this through, right?
it's just there's just a small collective of humans that just you know they want to see which one is bigger.
Yeah.
That's all it
It's
really is.
greed. I'm telling you, everything goes back to greed.
Mm. One of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah.
Shame, shame, shame.
Yep.
Since we're getting closer to an hour, I want to ask a question before we have to end this. What's something you believe now that an earlier version of yourself probably would have disagreed with?
Ooh, what's something I believe now? Um, Probably be honest. Be honest. Because as long as you're honest, your conscience is clear. I didn't used to believe in honesty
Hmm.
because most people aren't honest.
Well, I
Most people
mean,
aren't. Honesty
that's
gets you taken
valid.
advantage of. But to me, it's about looking at myself in the mirror and say, "Hey, I know I did everything the right way." You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. My
Yeah.
biggest thing is integrity. Like,
Yeah.
I at the end of the day, if you took something that I said and you manipulated or used it to benefit
Yeah.
you in a way that wind up just hurting me, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
My integrity is always going to be the most
Yeah.
important form of um. The hell is the word that I'm looking for? What is money? It's like money, money.
Currency.
There
Currency.
you go. Yeah. So
Currency.
my integrity is the highest form of currency I can give
Yeah.
anybody, and
Yeah.
it means the most to me. It's the most
Yeah.
valuable thing to me. So that's interesting to know that you didn't believe in honesty to begin with. I
I
think
didn't believe in honesty. We have to do another episode. We'll have to deep dive into my childhood. But yeah, I just didn't believe anyone was honest, right? I thought everyone was a liar. But even in my dishonesty, I've always been integral. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but I'm a very morally ambiguous person. And the reason I have is because I have this weird, crazy, jacked up background, right? Childhood. Not that I grew up middle class, well fed, well dressed, well off, but like I grew up in a very performative household. My mother was a minister, but it was so performative. She was a minister on Sunday.
that's
And
the only
that's
day
all
that
they did.
mattered.
Yeah, she was a minister on Sunday and Wednesday night Bible study, and that's all
Mhm.
that mattered. And so I grew up around a lot of that goes my disdain for performative people. I have a strong disdain. It stems from my childhood because I hate performative stuff, right? And so,
Well, well, I mean, that's that's fair. I think I had a
yeah,
very different naiveness to I don't lie.
hmm,
I can't lie. Like
yeah.
I'll tell you a lie and then 3 seconds later I'll tell you that I just lied.
Let
Like
me tell you.
that's a me thing.
Let me tell you. Back in my dishonesty days, I was so believable because if everyone believes you're an honest person, everybody believes you don't lie. Everyone's gonna always believe you, even when you're telling the lie. So
Right.
I would even manipulate the fact that I was perceived as an honest person to my advantage when I lied. Right? Like it's very it goes the Lord goes deep with me. But I learned all of this watching pastors
Mm.
of all people. You know?
I mean, I believe it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
uh,
learned all this in the church.
I will say though, when I was at my lowest and I was utilizing drugs and I was a lovely addict, I never lied because nobody ever asked me if I was on anything, but
Yeah.
I just wouldn't tell like exactly where what I was doing or where I was going. You know, like
Mhm.
I have parents. I have a mother that's very concerned about my well being at all times, and at a point of time, she had all rights to be. But I don't think I lied. I feel like I hid it. Like I just did it. But then what I noticed is I was just as bad as everybody that I was around. But all of my friends' parents thought I was like amazing, and their child was so safe because I was there. And it was like
Mm.
I didn't little did you know I was doing everything that they were doing, you know?
Yep.
So I think that that's probably the closest that I could think that I could come to
Oh.
what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I was just performing. And everybody always believed I was telling the truth, and no one would know when I lied, you know.
Well, we won't know now if you're lying or not.
I
So
know. I know.
Hmm.
No, I try to be very integral now. I do. I try to be very honest.
I mean, to
Even
me,
it
it's like,
works to my detriment a lot of the times, but it's about me living with it, you
yeah,
know.
I mean, for me, it's I have no reason to lie on like this platform or whether because I've been so open. Like if anybody had read anything that I even just like one thing that I wrote once upon a time and in the past year and a half, like I couldn't do that and show up here phony. I have such a like an icky type of feeling when it comes to performance to the point that like I don't want to be in spaces where I feel like I have to. If I feel like I have to, then I'm
Same.
not going to be there.
Felt.
You know,
I'm the
so
same
like
way.
that's and that's just I think a place that everyone gets to eventually.
Hmm.
And, or at least I hope that everybody gets to eventually, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't have to pretend to be anything that you're not. You don't have to pretend to be anything other than who you are. I think
You ain't got a lot to prove
everybody
it.
well, I just think everybody is uniquely here on purpose with a reason that has a specific skill set that is valuable and necessary. And no, I like I said in there in the beginning, it's like I'm not here to be liked by everyone. I
Hmm.
mean, there is nothing on earth that everybody can 100% agree on is life. You know, so why would I think that I'm any different? Like
Hmm.
I drink water now. I went most of my life I don't do water. And now the only thing I drink is
Really?
water. Yeah.
I
So let's
love
just say,
water.
like, if the humans can't even agree that the best thing to drink is some type of water with something probably in it, because we need more than just water, then
Yeah.
why would I think that everybody would agree that I'm likable? I need that you need to be
Yeah.
my friend and stuff like that. So when
Yeah.
I think people get over the fact that you're not going to be for everybody, it allows some type of freedom where that's okay. You
Yeah.
know, like that's how it's supposed to be because there is not something there is not a single thing that you can name right now, whether it's food, dogs, pets, whatever it is, you know, motorcycles over cars, like there everybody's going to have a fucking different opinion about it. There's not going to
Hmm.
be 100% of the world be like, no, this is the one thing we all agree on.
Yeah. Yep.
like, like I'm just like everybody has their own fucking opinion, so just be who the fuck you are. Um, Before we sign off, my very very last question is: if this current chapter of your life had a title, what would it be?
Um, the current chapter, right this second.
This current chapter of your life.
Um, from rebirth to the rising.
Hmm. I like that you're rising. I hope you
Yeah.
fly soon.
I hope I fly soon too.
um, Wherever you want to go to, like
Yeah.
that's the coolest part about flying is like you can go wherever. You could
Wherever.
do whatever. You could just be in a flow state the whole time. I really
I
hope
love
that
flow.
for my own life. Like I'd love to be just in a flow state
I
for
love
the
being in
be-
flow
you know.
state.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best place. It's not always easy to get there, but it is the best
It's
place.
not.
Davey says that's a great fucking title. It is a great
Oh,
title.
thank you. Thank you.
Maybe next month's theme or something will have a title that has something like that. We wander France at go abroad. I can't wait to get out of the United States.
Oh yeah,
Not because I hate it here, but because I do want to experience other ways
you
of
have
living.
to.
I
I've
think that
lived
is I
abroad for
yeah.
15 years.
Where?
Oh man, everywhere. Korea.
This is while you because of the
Yeah,
army?
I just came back to America in 2024.
Oh wow.
Before then, I lived overseas for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere. Mainly, I lived a lot of Asia, a lot of Europe. Asia and Europe.
I
Yeah.
don't want the dickhead on my passport. You're funny. I need a passport. I say that that's to be my 2026 before the end of year. Just fucking go get it already.
You
Just to
need to
have.
go get a passport. I'm ashamed of you,
I
Marlene.
know. I've been saying it for 2 years that my ADHD got me so bad where I look at the form and I'm like, there's way too many words on this.
Yeah,
High
you
notes,
can
thanks
do it
for joining.
online. You can do it online.
Oh, my sister keeps bringing them home from like the post office or
Yeah,
whatever, and I'm like, I
just do it.
and both of us let it sit on like our kitchen counter, like, oh, we got to do this, and neither one of us, our ADHD does not allow us to stay focused enough to answer the thousand questions that you have to provide.
Make sure you
Um,
do it.
but yes, I will make sure I do it.
Yeah,
It's cute. It's cute that everybody decides to join now. Apparently,
yeah,
7 p.m. It's 7 p.m. is on the East Coast is apparently popping.
yeah.
Uh, but I appreciate you. I appreciate. I feel like that I could have you back like tomorrow, and we can continue the
Oh,
conversation like
we
that.
can. Just let me know when. I like it. I love it here in the inner room.
I appreciate that, but I do appreciate you coming, sitting, answering my ridiculous questions,
Yeah,
debating with me in a respectful way. Because I think sometimes what I like to do on the inner room is show other humans that you can have a difference of opinion and still be respectful.
yeah, absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
Dito, we appreciate you. It's okay. He had to pick up his little bro and couldn't tune in. Would have if could. Well, because it's a later episode, the replay for me will be available tomorrow. If Gabby posts it tonight, then you guys will get to see it later on.
Yeah,
But I'll post it probably tomorrow. Thank you again for being here and sharing space. And I obviously encourage all of my co-hosts to come back. I usually like to let a little time pass just so we can like these are archived in my opinion. These are time capsules. This is what I look like right now on June 9th of 2026, but you come back
yeah,
3 months, I might look completely different. I may not.
yeah,
I may have hair, I may not. We never know. I like to shave
yeah.
it a lot.
You used to have hair,
I
and
used
then
to
one
have
day you didn't have hair. Yeah,
I
I
well,
remember.
May 1st of 2025, I shaved my head and then I let it grow almost a year. I couldn't do it anymore. And then I shaved it again. And now I just consistently just keep shaving it. My barber's like, same thing. I'm like, yeah, cut it all off again. And it's not like I haven't
Ah,
done much, but I apparently like rocking the bald. Yeah.
yeah. Friday,
Anyway,
I'm going. I had locks and I cut them off.
I have a lot of respect for people who grow out locks. That is a whole different journey that
It
I
is. I
I
cut them off.
respect.
I'm going dirty blonde on Friday.
That is a trend, just so you know.
It is dirty blonde. Dirty blonde is trending. It's in again.
Well, maybe not dirty blonde. What is that like it's like very blonde. It's like very blonde that people are dyeing their hair
Oh, dirty
very.
blonde is like a brownish blonde.
No, I know.
Uh,
I'm like maybe it was more of like a blonde, like blonde, blonde, blonde,
yeah.
blonde, like very.
Yeah, I'm going dirty blonde on Friday. I can't wait. I need a new color in my life, so I shake it up a little bit.
Huh, that's interesting. If I ever kept hair, I might dye it like a purple or something just for fun. But I appreciate that. I also wish I could rock hats. I
You
just
can.
I don't ever like the way my face looks with a hat. Platinum. Yeah, that
Yeah.
there you go. Beautifully broken. She got it.
I
Platinum.
think you'll be I think you'll look great with a lavender. Platinum and lavender.
I barely have any
Lavender
hair. It's
tips.
just bald.
You gotta do the platinum with the lavender tips. I think that'd be dope.
Well, if I ever grow it out, it'll be great. I keep it
Yeah,
short, just easy maintenance.
it is.
Don't have to worry about anything. I think that was like the biggest nightmare of me being a child is that I didn't like my hair. I had always long hair. My mom wouldn't let me cut my hair. I
Oh
hated it.
wow.
I never brushed my hair. I used to have hot knots in my hair. I was like, I don't like hair. And it
Yeah,
took me
oh.
and then I got older and then like everybody that I was all my partners were like, "Ooh, don't cut your hair." And I'm like, "Oh." So I won't cut my hair.
Mhm.
And and then I lost my last partner and I was like, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking shave my head off
Yeah, I
because
don't
I'm
blame
tired
you.
of people telling me what I
We
should and
gotta get you
shouldn't
back
do."
out in the dating world.
it's cute. I went to a pride event in my county over here with my there's like 60-plus-year-old lesbians, and I love them because it I get to observe a whole culture before it was my culture.
Yeah.
Like people that literally had to meet in closeted areas because it was not safe for them to gather. And then get to
Yeah.
see them still show up at events today. It really just warms my heart. I'm very blessed and grateful to have my group of OG lesbians that continue to take me under
Mhm.
their wing, and they're like, "We need to get you a girlfriend." I'm like, "I don't need a person." That's the last thing.
Yeah.
But I could use friends. I could always use friends.
Yeah.
Alexis says, I can't wait for short hair. One can do short hair. It's nothing wrong. The matter short of for us. Yeah. I mean, do whatever. At this point now, I'm like, do whatever you want. And I'm like, I'd rather somebody meet me with a bald head and still and like me than meet me with hair and then I decide to shave it again and then be like, oh my God, what
Yeah.
did you do? Why did you do that? Like, so I'm like, meet me with a bald head. If you like me with
Yeah.
a bald head, you like me with hair. I promise you.
Yep. Same. Same. I'm gonna grow
you
my hair
know,
back out soon, just not right now. This summer is gonna be. I'm gonna have fun colors and stuff.
Yeah, enjoy that. And because it is June and I happen to know that we both are part of a pretty cool community, I just wanted to say happy Pride to
Happy
anybody that
Pride.
celebrates it. Um, I do appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing night. I hope all of the lovely people that decided to show up and spend some time with us have an amazing night. And with that being said, you've been in the inner room where the conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truths linger long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward because that's where the stories that shape us really live. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you, Gabby. I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.